Yeah, good stuff.
What's going on, shorty? So we are going to do a pros and cons list, 1911 versus Glock, or really any polymer striker-fired pistol against the all-metal construction of 1911. So pros and cons. Let's go ahead and jump into the pros with the 1911. So first one that really kind of stands out to me is appearance. Appearance of this gun, I mean, it's beautiful, right? I mean, it's all metal, it looks good, it's shiny where it's supposed to be shiny. The grips, obviously, that can be changed out. You can put a bunch of different styles. Just overall an iconic silhouette of a weapon, right? That's the biggest thing that attracts me to them. I've seen them in movies, on TV. So just the overall appearance is what I think I personally like the most about this gun, about 1911s in general. I think they all look pretty damn good. The gun is clear, by the way. There's no ammo in sight. Another pro is the trigger on most 1911s, due to it being a single action hammer style firearm. The trigger tends to be very good. So you'll see here, there's like it's like a hair of take up, not much, just a little. And then the wall, very light, like nothing, and then reset, very short. Very fast gun to shoot. Now, I'm not the fastest shooter in the world. That doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm not a competition shooter, but it is a very nice light trigger. It's easy to pull straight to the rear, and it is important for accuracy. Accuracy on the 1911s, for the most part, are very good. And personally, I believe it's due to the heavier weight, and the trigger. I think that both of those things make it very easy to be very accurate with the gun. The weight helps you steady up. The light trigger, pulling it from front to rear without changing the front sight picture, that's really I think that's the end-all be-all of the accuracy of the 1911. You know, a lot of it has to do with manufacturing, but the accessibility of parts, stuff like that for 1911s is pretty good. As it should be. Man, it's been around for over 100 years, so I would assume that it's going to be good. Change these side panels very easily, 2 screws. There's a bunch of different designs. People make custom ones that look really cool. I personally really like this one because of the texture that's on there. I get sweaty hands when I'm shooting, so the other thing are the mags. I didn't really expect the mags across the board to be completely compatible. I don't know why. I mean, they're all the same style gun, but I've got a Wilson Combat mag, and this is the stock mag. Both of them work very well, very smooth, very in and out of the gun, very fast. Metal mags are nice. A lot of features you get on 1911s. All of that kind of lumped in is very nice, typically. The quality can depend on manufacturer, which, that reminds me, at the end of this video, I'm going to be doing a company call out, so stick around for that. I had some help from the company. Actually, for this is a Fusion Firearms Reaction 1911. Pretty cool gun. But anyway, let's go to cons. For a new user, which is kind of what my channel is going to be about, is it's high maintenance. For a new user, high maintenance, in my opinion, is not good. I don't like it. Me being a newer user, I'm about 5 years in now. as far as like actually researching and doing different stuff with guns and collecting. I know when I first bought a gun when I was 21 years old, I bought a Glock 27. The gun was great. I didn't have to touch it. I didn't have to do anything to it. I picked it up, shot it, and it's shot great ever since. 1911s are a little bit different. The first thing they told me as soon as I purchased this gun, right before I was shooting, because I bought it at a range, the first thing they told me was oil the crap out of it. So I ended up having to oil everything down, which brings me to my next con that kind of sucks, is you got oil all over your hands when you're shooting, and that sucks. Bad. I hate the fact that I get oil all over my hands while I'm shooting the gun. I don't like doing that. It's not fun. My hands slip around as it is because I'm sweaty, and now I got oil all over them. It sucks. But it is what it is. That's what they told me. Maybe I'm oiling it wrong. Y'all can critique me in the comments section down below. I'm down to learn. If you can make the experience any better, I will listen to everything you have to say. Next con is price. So price on the 1911s across the board, for the most part. I know there are some budget ones where you can get, sub $500, but typically for a good 1911, you're going to be spending 700 or more. Now, there are other brands out there. I know Rock Island. I've heard good things about Rock Island's 1911s, which are all, seems like most of them are 500 and below. T-sauce, stuff like that. So I know there are budget options, and I do plan on exploring it, but price is a big thing for me because I don't have all the money in the world, and as you can see, my YouTube channel is not blown up yet. So until that happens, I'm buying budget guns, and I'm trying to find the best bang for the buck, which was part of this 1911 purchase, to see what I could get. I ended up getting this gun for $540. But price point is a big deal to me. I base a lot of my opinions on price. Now, there's a lot of people say to get better quality, you got to spend more money. I get it. I understand. I've shot more expensive guns. I've rented them at the range that I go to. And I will just say price doesn't always equal quality. Sometimes you can find both. But price point on 1911s, they're typically expensive. And it comes with it. It makes sense because I get the argument of price equals quality because most of the time it does, but it's not always that way. Now this is another point on price. Most 1911s you find in the gun store are going to be chambered in 45. 45 is a good caliber. I like 45. The problem is hollow points in 45 are expensive. They are very expensive. I mean, they can range anywhere. I've seen $5 a round almost on hollow points 45. Compare that to like 9mm. I mean, it's a pretty big difference. The reason I bring that up, like I said in the beginning, most 1911s that you'll find at a gun store are chambered in 45. So your options are kind of limited there. Whereas compared to like a Glock, sky's the limit. I mean, they make so many different guns with so many different calibers. So I would definitely label that as a con because now I'm kind of locked into buying the more expensive ammo. I've seen ridiculous prices on hollow points, and even range ammo is like 50 cents a round, whereas like I'd say average is 28 to 30 cents a round on 9mm. As far as range ammo, it's not a crazy difference, but it's still a difference, and I'm a budget person, so there you go. To me, personally, I'm not a huge fan of heavier guns. I feel like I have more control with a lighter gun, which I know is bass backwards as opposed to like everybody else on YouTube talking about guns, but that's just how it is. It's my list. Screw you if you don't like it. Last con I'm going to talk about is the grip safety. I don't like grip safeties. Now, luckily this one has an extended grip safety on it, which I haven't had an issue with it. But I have shot guns without that extended, and I end up running into problems. I don't know if it's my grip. I have to change my grip when I shoot those other guns. I don't know. It's just kind of an annoyance. It's not a make or break for me, but it is annoying. I don't like the fact that it's got a grip safety. I don't like safeties in general. I feel like they just kind of get in the way, and I started off buying Glocks, so I never have really trained with a safety. Now, once I train with a safety, that opinion could definitely change. Maybe I'll like it more. I don't know. Now on to the Glock. So we'll start with the pros. I'll get the obvious one out of the way. Reliability. Brand name. Everybody knows Glock is one of the most reliable manufacturers out there. They are, I mean, there's cops that have told stories from finding guns in a river, picking them up and shooting them. I mean, it's incredible how reliable they've been over time. Now, I know some of the newer ones I've heard about some quality issues. I haven't experienced any of that yet, but I also don't have any newer Glocks. This is a Glock 17, and I bought this used for $400, which brings me to my next point, is price point on Glocks. Typically you're not going to find a Glock over $700. I mean, there are some, but for the Glocks that most people are buying, 17s, 19s, 43Xs, 43s, most of them are under $700. Is nice. The other thing is they have all of the, they have a 380, 9mm, 22. I mean, sky's the limit, 10mm, 45, 40. I mean, sky's the limit. They make so many different guns with so many different calibers. It's nice to know you have those options, so you can get any ammo you want, really. The other thing about 1911s, especially for a new user, is it's very low maintenance. I bought this gun, I shot it, and that was it. That was really all I did. I just bought it and shot it. I think I've cleaned it once or twice out of the year and a half or so that I've had it. And I've probably put anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 rounds through it. And it just works, man. It just works. I trust, like, if it's going to come down to it, I trust Glock with my life. I know it was a pro on the 1911, but I love the appearance of Glocks too. I know it's a completely different appearance, but I love the appearance. I mean, they've been in movies too. You know, this is what I saw growing up as a kid, was the Glock. I always knew Glock. You see them everywhere. I mean, just about everyone I know that owns guns owns a Glock. Everyone. I mean, it's an iconic gun. It's an iconic look. It's got the flat top. I love the way it looks. Parts and accessories is amazing, of course. Definitely better than the 1911. I mean, any gun store you go into is gonna have little parts like a mag release, extended slide release, or a new trigger, sights. I mean, you can do anything with your Glock. The other thing is, let's say you were to buy a used Glock. You go into the store, they have a Glock in there for $350, and you buy it, you take it out, you shoot it a few times, and then you notice something's loose, or maybe the mag release is worn out, or the slide release is not catching. It can all be changed, and for relatively cheap. I mean, most little parts, like pretty much everything other than like the whole trigger assembly, is under $100. And, you know, if you were to buy like you can get complete custom slides for like $350. I mean, it's just the parts accessibility, if you do want to tinker, is unmatched, in my opinion. The other thing is ease of use. Ease of use to a new shooter. I mean, you have a slide, you rack it, and you pull the trigger. It's very simple. You've got a slide stop, a mag release. I mean, there's not much to it. I mean, it's just, you know, like compared to like a 1911, you know, for a new user, you've got a hammer, safety, grip safety, the slide stop. I mean, there's just more things to worry about. There's more moving parts. There's more moving parts in something like a 1911 compared to a Glock, and it just makes it easy. It makes it easy for a new shooter to pick up, practice shooting, and train and get better. Cons. It's plastic. It doesn't feel as quality as a 1911 when you pick it up, and that's normal. I mean, it's a plastic gun with a metal slide. It's going to be light. You know, some people will say it's going to be harder to be more accurate. I haven't experienced that, but I'm also very used to Glock. Sights suck. I hate the sights on these things. I like a fiber optic front with a blacked out rear, which is what my 1911 has. You'll see the red front with blacked out rear, and that's what I prefer. So the other thing is they're plastic, and it looks like someone, I don't know if you can really see that, but it looks like someone maybe tried to take a metal punch to this or something and poked a hole in the side of this. Like I said, used firearm. So yeah, sights aren't great. I mean, it would even be better if it was just a blacked out rear with a white dot on the front. I would like that more than the little U. So let's see. The other thing is lack of features that a Glock comes with. Most 1911s come with a little bit more features. You know, like for example, the extended slide stop on my 1911. You know, I bought this gun for $540, which is not crazy expensive compared to the Glock. It comes with more features. It comes with, you know, it's got a metal mag release. Slide stop doesn't feel as like toyish. And then the other thing is slide stop hugs the mag or hugs the frame of the gun on a Glock. So it's hard to get used to if you don't train a lot with it. Trigger on a Glock. Everybody knows Glock's triggers. They're not the best, but they do go boom every time. So you got a lot of take up, a little bit of crunchiness right there before you hit the wall. And then you hit the wall, and it's not the most crisp break in the world. It could be better for sure. Reset, long, not terrible, but kind of long. Once again, that doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm not a competition shooter. I just like to defend myself. Grip texture, I don't like on all the Glocks. I've never had a Glock factory grip that I liked. This little stubble thing that they do, I'm not really a big fan of it. My hands get really sweaty whenever I shoot, and with it being plastic, it just starts sliding everywhere. So I ended up putting this tape, and that helped a lot. Actually, it's improved it a lot, because when I start sweating, the grip actually gets a little bit better now that I put that tape on there. Probably the last con I want to talk about is the mags. They're plastic mags. They kind of feel mushy compared to the 1911. They don't slide out as good. But that's it for the cons. Well, that's it for the cons on the Glock. Overall, I think if I was going to recommend a gun to someone that has never shot before, I would definitely recommend a Glock for the first time. I'm sure there's going to be some haters that are like, well, 1911's been around for... I get it. I know they've been around for a long time. I understand. But the fact of the matter is there's just more to them. You have to maintenance it. And I feel like a new user is not going to be as on top of the maintenance. So that way, if someone breaks into your house and you didn't clean your 1911 from the range the day before, and then all of a sudden that gun jams, that's gonna suck. Like I said, I've only cleaned this thing twice, and it wasn't because it was malfunctioning. It was just because it looked really ugly on the front. There was a lot of powder and stuff at the end of this, and I just wanted to clean it. I've never had a malfunction in this. I'd have to recommend Glock to a new user. If you just like 1911, go for what you want. You can be good with anything you train with, and that's the most important thing, is make sure you're training, make sure you're shooting, make sure you understand how the gun works. Gun safety is always #1 priority. Which, speaking of, I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but both of these guns are unloaded. There is no ammo in sight, so when you see me pointing them around, that's why. And there's also no one in my house. So now, this 1911, let's get this Glock out of here. So the company call out that I spoke at the beginning of this video, I want to call out Fusion Firearms. This is their 1911. It's a reaction. really cool gun. I like it a lot, especially for the money. For the money, you're getting fiber optic front, blacked out rear, extended slide release, extended safety, extended grip safety. Really good trigger, really good texture on the grip, front, rear, sides, everything. The factory side panels that they have here are really nice. I like them a lot. Front slide serrations. I mean, all these features are something you would find on a very expensive 1911. The main reason I bought this actually is because it looked like a Wilson Combat. Now is where I run into problems. So I bought the gun, not knowing much about 1911s, to be honest. I just wanted a 1911, and I ended up getting this, like I said earlier, for $540, which is a very good deal on a 1911 with this many features. And with that good of a trigger. I mean, the trigger is freaking awesome on this thing. So anyway, the call out is Fusion Firearms because I did run into an issue the first day shooting. I was shooting at about 5 inches to the left at 7 yards. I came to that conclusion because originally I thought it was me, because typically when I shoot my Glocks, I miss about 5 inches to the left at 10 yards. So I chalked it up to it being me at first. The next day I went to the range. I got some of the guys at the range to shoot the gun to see what their experience was like, and they were also shooting about 5 inches to the left. They were missing. So I called the manufacturer. They answered immediately. They asked me what was going on with it. I told them about it, and they were like, okay, we're going to send you an email. Now, keep in mind, it was late in the day. I did get the email the next day, which isn't a big deal. But it was late in the day, so they probably went home most likely. So I understand that. But I got the email next day. They sent me a shipping label. If you know anything about shipping guns, you know it's a pain in the ass with UPS. So I ended up taking it to the range that I bought it from, and they shipped it off for me. I got a notification on my phone from UPS that told me that something was delivered, but it didn't specify what it was. And I'd had a couple things going through the UPS system at the time, so I called them just to make sure it got there. They confirmed it was there. I asked them how long it was going to take. They told me 1 to 2 weeks. Cool. So a week went by. I gave them a call. They gave me an update on it. They said it was probably going to take about another week or so, which I wasn't too worried about it. That's what they told me to begin with, but they communicated with me pretty much the whole time. Emails were always responded to, no matter what questions I had. And then they called me 2 or 3 days later after I called after the week, and they were like, hey, we figured out the issue, which they ended up chalking it up to the barrel and or barrel bushing. They ended up replacing both for free. They also replaced the rear sight and made it an adjustable sight, so they actually upgraded it technically. And they did all of that under warranty. And then the next day, they called me and said, hey, we're going to ship it to you overnight. It'll be there Friday. I got it Friday. So I can't thank them enough. Fusion Firearms is not a sponsor of this video, but if you are looking at a 1911, definitely check them out. Even if you end up having issues, they have great customer service as far as I'm concerned. So with all that being said, thank you, Fusion Firearms. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Make sure you hit subscribe. Comment down below. Critique me on anything you want. I don't get butthurt. I'm fine. Let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see. I've got a lot of ideas. Other than that, peace.